It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 381. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe.
Hello.
Hello. So I guess let's just jump right in. What do you got for people?
All right. Well, we are going to talk about the Strength app in beta testing. There's some updates on that. We also have an update on the Australia Peloton side of things. Not to mention, there is a whole bunch of updates in general from instructors and across the Peloverse of different things that are happening.
Okay.
We are also going to talk about the weird emails that came out this week, because how can we not talk about that?
Yes, we have to make fun of them, even though I feel a little bad making fun of it.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there. There's a new lawsuit update that we got to talk about. There's also an interesting thing. You can bid on Peloton classes now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it like one of those old-timey things where there's like this big portly southern gentleman with a gavel just going, hey, 15, 17, 25,
No, it's all online.
92. Sold.
Sure. We have a visit from Dr. Jen today, which you don't have on the list filled in. So it scares me about what has happened to this list.
Dear.
But
That seems unlike me.
She's going to talk about the impact of having your Olympic medal stripped from you.
I know how upsetting it was when it happened to me.
We're also going to talk about a new instructor who, well, it's a instructor that already is part of Peloton, but has recently announced they are running the New York City Marathon. We have artist series updates. We have all kinds of, in case you missed it, we have the TCO top 5. Not to mention, we also have our interview with Keisha today. She's a community member who was a complete non-believer in Peloton.
Oh.
But now she has completely drank the Kool-Aid. She's also very much into Peloton, posts about it. She has a whole thing that we're going to talk about that she does.
I also feel like I need to say, in fairness to Kool-Aid, because that's a reference to Jonestown.
Well, I guess people just say it all the time.
They technically drank Flavor Aid.
That is a fair point.
They did not drink Kool-Aid, but everybody says drink the Kool-Aid. And we say it too. We say it in our little show notes sometimes, drink the Kool-Aid. But I always feel a little bad about that, because if I said drink the Flavor Aid, people would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Is this a product placement? So Kool-Aid for like 40 years has been flagged as the shorthand for having joined a dangerous cult, when in fact it was their competitor. I also think we should not say drink the Kool-Aid. We should say drink the Crystal Light.
Well, that'll just invite somebody to comment on my weight.
Good luck to them.
Oh, they have before. Whatever. Anyway, so that is kind of the overview of the show today.
Okay. Well, before we get into all that, shameless plugs. Don't forget, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us. While you're there, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. That's super helpful. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group. If you love the show so much you would like to give it $5, we would like to take your $5, and you can do that at patreon.com/theclipout. Now, your next question might be, what do I get for $5?
Yeah.
That's a fair question.
It is.
Here's what you get. You get ad-free episodes. You get a special link just for you that'll give you ad-free episodes. You put it in, it works on your phone just like it's working now. You just do it once and then you're done. And then you also get bonus content. Every week we record an extra 15, 20, 25 minutes, depending on how chatty we are and how busy it is, of things that we did not have time to get to in the main episode. It lives over there waiting for you weekly, and it is just baked in. You also, if we get episodes early, you get episodes early. And finally, perhaps most importantly, we'll like you a little extra.
We sure will.
Yeah. So you can also watch all of these over at the YouTube. That's up and running again. Sorry about that for the YouTube viewers.
Yes.
But it is finally working again. So I know they're working at backfilling the 2 we missed, but this one should be there too. So you can also sign up for the newsletter at theclipout.com. It comes out mostly weekly. So most of the things I do
are
weekly. So anyway, let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
Peloton in the news.
The Strength Plus app is in beta testing.
Yes, which is not new information.
Okay.
That was not the point of this at all.
Okay.
You're just like, what? What are you telling me?
Sometimes you put notes in there, and they just don't mean anything to me.
Why don't you just ask me what they mean?
Because then you're in the middle of something else, and then it takes 40 minutes, and then half the time the answers are like, how do you not know this after 7 years of doing this show?
Oh, that's fair.
There'll be notes like Jeffrey podcast.
This is not one of them, but...
Is he on a podcast?
But I did...
Does he have a podcast?
But I did want to point this out to you
Did
because...
he download a podcast?
You're not even listening to me. This is why you don't know anything. The reason I wanted to make sure you specifically knew about this update is because one of these things came from you.
Came from me?
Yes.
What did I do?
You said that they should also have an ability to swap out any movement like
Okay.
Tonal does.
Oh, okay.
And they do now.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Hello, Peloton. Apparently, you're a listener.
Well,
again.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It might just be somebody else typed it in.
That could be.
Yeah. But
Could
anyway,
be a coinkydink.
you can swap any movement now. So before you could swap it out for something similar. Now you can swap it out for any time. Anything.
You can just go rogue.
Yes. So that's great. Whether you have an injury, and it even says whether to accommodate an injury or personal preference. And when I typed it in, I said that. So I'm hopeful that actually, other people were putting that in. That's
Right.
really cool because
By personal preference, they mean you're lazy.
well, yeah, sure. Maybe you're just having a day, They're also going to have more customization features that are going to be coming in soon. And they have a whole new onboarding tips area for people who are just now experiencing it. So that came out. Now, nothing has been signed about this particular beta test. That's why I'm sharing this. It's not like they said, here's an NDA. You can't share this.
Okay.
This is a public beta test. So I feel like it is okay to share these
There's
things.
no NDA.
There you go.
Then you can D.
So just wanted to let people know about that.
People love the D. What? They do. Well, some people.
I mean, yeah.
About 55% of the population. 59%. Something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Move on.
People are also starting to see a weekly plan option in their regular old Peloton app. We're not talking about Strength Plus app anymore.
We are not, but it is another beta test. This is another public beta test.
Where's the D in this one?
There's none. We talked about this a
shame.
while back that they had 3 tests that they were going to do, and this is another beta test. So
Okay.
not everybody has this, but you have the ability to go in, if you do have it, and
Right.
probably in the future, you will have the ability to go into your app and make a plan of what you want to do all week. So you're going to be able to say, I want to work out X amount of times this week, and it's going to give you a plan. So,
Then it'll nudge you.
well, I would hope.
Get
Yeah.
some sort of a push notification.
And it lets you swap out classes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
yeah. That's
all.
also kind of like Tonal.
It is.
You can go in now and tell it which days of the week you want to do your workouts.
Well, but yes, they do that. But it's a little bit different in that this allows you to plan whether you're going to say, I want to work out a certain amount of times this week. And I think you can also say, whether you have a running or biking or yoga, like you have the ability to set it all up. And I don't know, you can pick classes in Tonal ahead of time, but it's going to look a little bit different than that because this is like a plan that you're making for yourself.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so. Well, in Tonal, I don't want to just turn it into a total Tonal conversation, but in Tonal, you can say, I want to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like you within a program, you can give it the days.
Yeah, see, there's the difference. It's already a program that's built.
And here you're kind of creating your own program.
There you go.
Okay. Now I'm up to speed.
Okay.
Still not going to do it.
I know.
But I'm up to speed.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I just want to put this out there.
Okay.
If this comes up in 2 weeks, I will have no recollection of it.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
You are especially distracted today.
I don't know why. So people this week, longtime members, in some cases, what we would refer to as OGs.
Yeah, this was everyone.
Got an email from Peloton saying, welcome.
It doesn't even matter whether you are an
it just went to everybody.
It went to everyone. And from what I can tell, you got at least one email based on the most recent piece of equipment that you bought.
Okay.
So like I got an email about my row.
Right.
Nikki got an email about her row. But like some people got an email about their bike that they bought in 2014
right.
because
they got from Kickstarter.
Yeah. So it's like, it seems to be everyone.
Yeah.
And it seems to be across the board. And it's just like, you just got an email saying welcome and then nothing from Peloton. Just nothing. And then 36 hours later, we get an email saying, hey,
whoops,
sorry about that. Also, all for one classes are on.
Yeah.
They're all out now.
Like, what else do we say in this email?
Yeah, because they couldn't say, here, we'll give you a discount, because they would be giving a discount to every single person.
For sure. And also, like, you got an accidental email.
Like, it's not that big of a deal.
You don't deserve a discount.
No.
Like, that's
but
not.
But a lot of people freaked out when they got this email because they thought somebody had purchased
the list?
No.
Oh.
No, worse.
Oh.
They thought somebody had purchased a rower on their dime or a bike on their dime.
Gotcha.
So people were flipping out thinking that this was a brand new item.
Somebody had like registered a piece of equipment.
Yes.
And it triggered an email to them and they're like, what?
Exactly. Yeah. So
that would be problematic.
I think that's why they sent out the email saying oopsie.
Yeah,
because I think otherwise they wouldn't have it all.
And as someone who sends out emails, not just for the clip out, but for the arena where I work.
Yes, and you have a very large list for work.
I don't like to brag.
Yes, you do.
But it is pretty sizable. My list has a lot of girth. And but like I've done that before, like gotten the date wrong on a show or said Friday the 19th when it's Saturday the 19th, or God forbid the wrong password on a pre-sale. Sweet baby snow peas. It's the worst. It is just the worst.
Everyone tells you how wrong you were.
Yeah. And it's invariably, it's like 2 days after like the Enterprise Center has to recall an email. And in my head, I'm like, ha, 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 you think you're so damn good because you're the big arena. and then I do it and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, but you guys got a whole team of people. I'm just me. It's just me doing all this.
That's true. It is a little different.
So we will mock them, but in our hearts, I feel it.
On that note, again, you got to wonder, is this another?
Yeah.
Is this because people have been let go and there were probably quality assurance things that were, in place and somebody hit a wrong button.
And somebody, now this is one part of a day with 50 things when it used to be one part of a day with 10 things, and it starts to get to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Australia is getting a Peloton Pop-Up.
Yeah, this is very notable because as of last week, there were no stores in Australia. None.
Okay.
None. They were virtual only. And then this week, they had this thing that came up and said this pop-up is opening on October 7th. So I don't know if this pop-up will only be like through the holiday season,
right?
Or if it's going to be there forever, because pop-up indicates
pop-up means at some point you're going to pop down.
It's temporary,
right?
So, but I just thought it was notable.
It's Spirit Peloton
since it was there were none, and now there is one.
Yeah. Do we know it says,
It's in Claremont, wherever that is.
and it says 9 Bayview Terrace.
Yes. I don't know anything about the
We know
geography
nothing
of
about Australia. We know Yahoo Serious,
Well, we could talk to Roz.
Paul Hogan.
We know Roz.
Yeah.
We could ask Roz about it. That's all I got.
Little River Band, Men at Work, AC/DC. Oh, NXS. I'm out of Australia things.
Okay. But like I said, we could actually ask Roz.
Rick Springfield.
Are you with me at all?
He's
Are you
from
even
Australia.
hearing me? Are you hearing the words coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, you said we should ask Rick Springfield.
My God, what is going on with you today?
We have met him.
That's true. We have. That is true. Aw. Yeah, so great.
Peloton is looking for your marathon journey story.
It is,
You
yeah.
gonna send in yours?
I mean, what's my story?
I ran a lot and it sucks.
I mean, I feel like that's everybody's story.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like that's really
Oh,
notable.
that's not unique to you?
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's everybody who runs a marathon.
Okay, here's my pitch. You ran a lot and it really, really sucked.
No.
Okay.
I could talk about my why, and I could talk about how, like, in my head, this was going to happen last year,
Right.
and that did not happen.
That did
I could
not
talk
occur.
about why,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like there are so many amazing stories, like really like
Right.
heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching stories.
Yeah.
And mine is just like, yeah, you wanted to, so you are.
You're like, yeah, that's how that works. Meanwhile, there's some like orphan born with his heart on the outside.
And running,
Yeah,
you know, and
doing a
faster than me,
Right.
Yeah, so like it doesn't feel like I have a place,
Yeah.
to say anything.
Well,
Yes.
if you feel like you have a place, the listener said it.
yeah, you should do that.
You should do that. You should submit your story.
Yeah, you just go on to Peloton Studio socials and they have a submit here link, and they want to know why you're running, what's pushing you through to the finish line, and how you've used Peloton to train. I could talk a lot about that.
Yes, you could.
A lot of hours. Lots of hours.
So the studio website this week had a major outage. First off, major outage.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it did. The studio reservation site just was not loading, like at all. Like it just went away. In fact, all of their websites were just like, oops, we encountered a problem. That's what happened when you tried to type it in, when you typed in the website. And then a few hours later, it came back. We don't know what happened.
Okay.
I think the Peloton servers are also melting down from not having enough bandwidth.
They also got the servers on Kickstarter.
Something is happening.
They've been around for a while.
It's crazy.
Have I ever told the story of what happens or I don't know if it still does, what used to happen on the Rolling Stones website when you get a 401 error or 404 error?
I think you have, but it's been years since
They-
you told this.
They had, so if you got it, is it 401 or 404? I don't remember.
404.
404. And they had on their 404 landing page an embedded video of a live version of "You Can't Always Get What You Want." And I'm like, that's pretty awesome.
It is pretty
Hat
awesome.
tip to the Rolling Stones webmaster.
That is great. Yeah.
If you are a Lululemon member, they have special offers for you on Peloton stuff.
They do. And what's also interesting about this is that you can get up to $650 off of select equipment with accessory.
Ooh, like the guide. You'll be making out like a bandit.
It says select equipment. I'm thinking they did not include that in the offer.
They don't have an $80 item that you get $650 back on?
I don't think
Because
so.
if they do, you should buy like 40 of them.
At least.
Yeah.
And it says that you also have to add a starter or ultimate set to the equipment to purchase it to be able to redeem the code. And it takes place between September 27th and October 17th. This apparently went out to everybody who was on the Lululemon list and the Peloton list. So you have to be a Lululemon member to get the Peloton app.
Gotcha.
Okay. So does that make sense?
It does make sense.
All right.
Speaking of corporate synergy,
Yes.
you can...
I was just thinking that.
Yes. You can also bid on Peloton classes
You can.
with your Hilton Honors point.
Honors.
I like to hit the H so
Okay.
it has alliteration.
This is depressing, though, because
Because you're a Marriott fan?
you have to bid so much more for Robin Arzon than you do to have a class with Jocelyn Thompson Rule.
I mean, like, that's just auctions, man.
I know, but also this is making me sad. All you Hilton Honors people need to spend the money to like make a bid on Jocelyn because she has 0 bids right now and it ends in 13 days. It ends faster than Robin's and Robin has 3 bids, but also Robin only has 3 bids.
Okay, I will say that these sorts of like point program things, they have so many things going on that are just buried on their websites.
That is
Because I've
true.
done that where like they'll be like on your city card because we're not good enough to have like the Chase Sapphire
no.
one. We're like city,
Right.
You know, we're still Diners Club.
Yeah.
And but like there'll be like ticket deals like and there are so many that it just goes on for pages.
Well, it still breaks my heart. Plus, everyone that I've heard talk about this says they would never bid on these because it is 50,000 points for Jocelyn. It is
Yeah.
90,000 points for Robin. And they're like, that's a weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, a lot of times these things, too, are like the point totals are like so whack. You're like, I can get a free flight
Yeah.
or I could go to a Robin Arzon class
Yeah.
that I can probably get for $40 if I put a little elbow grease into it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I get that as well.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel about it. I will say that you do get 2 tickets to the class,
Okay.
and it does not include lodging or airfare or anything like that.
So you still got to do all the other things.
You do. And Robin's did start off at 75,000. Somebody bid that, somebody bid 82,500, and somebody bid 90,000.
Okay. Look at those ballers.
I know.
So take a quick look at things going on around the world of Peloton. I like to call it quick hits because I think that's clever.
I think it is too. Yeah.
So Robin Arzon, you might have heard of her, is
a few times.
hosting an Athlos event, which in Spanish means
It's the Athlos event. Like it was a giant event celebrating athletes.
The headline says hosts Athlos event. Doesn't
Right.
say anything about the.
But if you look at the article.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Besides, it's about athletes. It's sports. What would I know?
Okay. It was a new women's track event where the fastest women blazed through New York City. Robin came to Instagram to share what a wonderful time she had hosting the event. It featured not only running, but also beats by DJ Nice and a live performance by Megan Thee Stallion.
Now, that's got the in it.
Yes, with 2 E's.
That I know because she is like old timey.
That's right. It is.
All her videos are in sepia tone. So Anna Greenberg celebrated her 40th birthday.
She did. She has been on quite the holiday, you know, with these instructors being gone for like 12 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
She has been using it to travel and going to amazing places with her family. And she celebrated her 40th birthday while she was out. Coincidentally, she will be back Saturday. So just
about
found
that?
that out.
Who's suing Peloton now?
It's been a while since we've been able to say this, I feel.
Okay.
Peloton won a lawsuit.
They did. They did.
Didn't settle it. They didn't
won
lose it. They won it.
They won it.
The judge actually came down from the bench, went up to the opposing attorney, kicked him right in the dick.
I'm pretty sure that's fake news.
That is 100% true news. I saw it on A&E's court cam.
Oh, did you?
And then he said to that attorney, I hope you die in prison as well.
That's a deep cut.
Some of these I just do for me. So this is the one where they were saying they were getting sued by investors, but
Yes.
like douchey investors. I
Yes.
think there's an official name for that.
It's the douchey bro guys.
Yeah.
Financial bros. That's the ones.
the Fibros.
Yeah. Fibro.
And they bought all the stock with crypto. and so they were saying that during the pandemic that Peloton had lied to stockholders
Yes.
about how the demand would map out over the next few years.
Yep.
And the judge said, not so much. and dismissed it.
In fact, the
or
judge.
She dismissed it.
It was a he. It was
Okay.
Judge Andrew Carter in Manhattan.
Okay.
And he said several optimistic Peloton statements about the company's future were accompanied by very detailed warnings, that is in quotes, including that lockdowns could end, people could resume their pre-pandemic routines.
Well, also, there's a difference between lying and being wrong. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
it was optimistic, but it's not. I mean, I just cannot believe for 1 second that anybody actually believes that Peloton was like, this is how we get them.
Right.
That is not ever.
Like, look, here's how you know they weren't lying. Foley bought a house in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Like, he
was just as optimistic.
Right.
Like, he meant that.
If he was secretly selling off all of his shares and telling you that, well, that's Truth Social. But but that's not what he did. And then he took a major hit.
He did.
Right? Like, that's not, like, so he was wrong.
Well,
like,
and I think that this particular lawsuit was not only against Peloton, but it was against the shareholders, including John Foley. Like, this was a personal attack on him.
Like, if John Foley was still living large in the Hamptons, I'd be like, well, maybe you could be making this argument. But Foley, like, that's not what happened.
No.
Like, he didn't even get to keep his regular old apartment. For people only listening, I'm making air quotes.
Because it definitely was not
regular, but it was still, like, the apartment he'd been in for a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, he even ended up selling that. So, like, they weren't lying. They were mistaken.
And there's a difference.
And sometimes people are mistaken, and then you lose money. That's called capitalism, and that's the risk you take. You whiny little bitch.
Like, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Please. They know.
We will now be getting sued for finance bros for
allegedly.
You're allegedly whiny little
allegedly.
bitches. You're allegedly a whiny little bitch. That's all we're saying.
Getting the psychological edge with Dr. Jen.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Dr. Jen Mann, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist and sports psychology consultant. You may know her from VH1's Couples Therapy with Dr. Jen, or VH1's Family Therapy with Dr. Jen, or her long-running radio show, The Dr. Jen Show. She's written 4 best-selling books, including The Relationship Fix, Dr. Jen's 6-Step Guide to Improving Communication, Connection, and Intimacy. It's Dr. Jen. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
We have a question from Jen Dane. She is curious of your take on the psychological impacts of an Olympic medalist having their Olympic medal stripped from them.
Oof. I mean, devastating, just beyond devastating. And it's to have it in your hands, to have won it and then have it taken away. And then not to mention all of the controversy around the timing of it. Like, did they meet the deadline? Did they not? That there's a lot of evidence. It's looking like to support that her coaches met the deadline and she had really earned the medal, and that the other woman, that her coach had not. So it's just got to be incredibly devastating. And it also has to feel incredibly unfair that you did the job. You got the job done. You trained your whole life for this moment in time, and then you get the job done, and then it's taken away from you. I mean, I can only imagine how devastated she is.
I'm just curious, as someone, and this will shock people, as someone who's never competed at that level.
Yes.
Shocked. Color me shocked.
Unless, do trivia nights at a local VFW hall count?
No.
I don't think
Probably
so.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you get the medal at this point, does it even feel like you really got the medal? Like, for either of them, like, I feel like at this point, you just be like, it's just so tainted, it would be hard to enjoy it at all.
I think whoever gets the medal ultimately, and I don't know if it's been figured out at this point.
Last I heard, no, it was still going through the court of arbitration.
I think whoever gets the medal and is going to embrace the medal and be like, yes, I worked for this. I won this.
Yeah.
Because I think they both feel entitled to the medal. They both feel that they performed the best and should have gotten the best score. And for those of your listeners who don't know my background, that I was an elite level gymnast. I was in the national team in rhythmic gymnastics for about 5 years. And I had plenty of experiences as an athlete where I did a routine and then the score came in, and like I had one where my coach looked at my mom and said, it's going to be a 9.0. It's a national competition, maybe an 8.6. My score came up as a 7.05. Oh, and like, what's wrong with this picture? Like, this is not a couple tenths off. That's a lot. Way off. Yeah. And so sometimes there are things that happen that are a little fishy or that just don't make sense, or maybe the judge wasn't paying attention. I mean, now everything is televised and everyone in the audience has 5,000 cameras that are recording the event. So you can really get down to the nitty gritty of what really happened in that very moment. Did they actually take that hop that they were deducted for? Did they not? So it's a very different world. And I don't know exactly what the rules are in gymnastics in particular now, given that you can review tapes, that you can go back in time and see what happened.
I really can't imagine. And for those of you who don't know this story, the very brief version is that Jordan Chiles was taken, her bronze medal and the floor exercises at the Paris Olympics this year was taken away because they said that her score had been incorrectly adjusted. And so then it was given to who had come in fourth, another country. And so, of course, Jordan Chiles has spoken out about this a couple of times, and she sounds devastated. I mean, I don't even know how you... I don't know how you mentally process that after
either one of them.
No, either one. Yeah. That's totally fair.
And also, I mean, look, we also have to keep in mind fourth place in the Olympics, being the fourth best in the entire world is not bad. But there is also like a division line of top 3, top 6, everyone else. And that's the way it's viewed in sports. And not to mention that I'm sure for someone like her in this country, that can be millions of dollars of endorsements. Yeah. That can be all kinds of financial opportunities that she might not have. And gymnastics it's an expensive sport. Like the training, the leotards, the coaching, the training, the specialty kind of people that you have to hire to help you. Like it's not cheap at that level. It really isn't. So I think that it's very, very unfortunate. And I think that, hopefully she will be able to recover from this. With the Olympics, it's something that most people who are in the Olympics have worked for their entire life. Yeah. Like most Olympiads that you talk to at a very young age said, like, that is my goal. My goal is to be in the Olympics. My goal is to win the Olympics. So it's not just like, oh, she woke up and put on a leotard and went out and did her thing.
You don't accidentally find yourself in the Olympics one day.
Exactly.
Unless you're that Turkish shooter guy, like that guy did.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. You eat, sleep, breathe, like sacrifice for your sport, like every moment of every day. Like you live a very different life. Yeah. And to have this kind of controversy around your performance and your medal really has got to suck enormously. Not to get too clinical on you. Yeah. It just has to suck.
No, I think it's pretty accurate.
She's trying to keep it in words I can understand.
Right. Yeah. Keep it on the tongue level.
Yeah. It blows, dude.
Yeah, totally blows. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for all that. It's just an interesting insight from someone who has competed at an elite level.
Yes.
And so it is fascinating to see. So, well, thank you very much for all that. And until next time, where can people find you?
On all social media at Dr. Jen Mann, 2 N's on Jen, 2 N's on Mann.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Peloton in the news.
Kirsten Ferguson will be running the New York City Marathon.
She will.
She'll be right behind you.
That's funny.
If she was listening, she'd be like, the hell I will be. Are you kidding me?
She'd trip over my laces or something.
He's like, I do this for a living. I'll be done before she even starts.
It's true. But yeah, she announced it this week that she's going to be doing it. A lot of people had suspected because she's been running lots of miles, but it is official. She is going to be there.
You do got to run lots of miles.
Uh-huh.
I hardly see you anymore with all the miles you're running.
Yeah. Hi.
And more like, bye.
Yeah.
Marcel Dinkins got stuck in France.
Yeah.
First off, first world problem.
Well, yeah, for sure. But she was denied
No, it was
boarding.
bad. It was 3 days?
3 days.
That's a lot.
So I heard, and I don't know if this is true because I have not been like watching this super closely.
Right.
But I heard it was something to do with her dog, because it says here.
It says the thing that she's, I read the post and she says that she got into France super easy with the dog, but she couldn't get out of France with the dog. I think, my theory, this is what I'm thinking. I'm just spitballing. It's not a poodle. If it had been a French poodle, they'd have been like, French poodles can come and go. They got little puppy passports. They call them pup ports. But only for the French poodles.
Okay. Well, apparently she doesn't have a French poodle.
Apparently not.
And so it was. She's stuck. I don't know if she got out, but hopefully she gets to come home soon. How frustrating would that be? She's had to cancel classes all week. Like, it's been a whole thing.
And I would love to know, like, is she just stuck at the airport? Did she have to just go get a hotel?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
She did not specify, but either way, awful.
Yeah. Because also when you're stuck in those situations, you don't know it's 3 days or 40, right? Like, you're sitting at the airport thinking,
it'll get resolved
I'm
any
going to
minute
get this
now.
fixed any second here. Yeah. And then it's not like you're like, well, you get 3 extra days in France. No, you don't.
Right.
You get 3 extra days tethered to the customer service desk for British Airways.
There you go.
That's what you get.
That's exactly right.
How do you say Karen in French? Meaning the people she has to deal with.
I was like, are you calling Marcel a Karen?
No, in my head, I was envisioning the person at the British Airways desk.
Okay.
That's what I was envisioning as the Karen, because Marcel is not French. I know.
You better specify.
It can confuse you because a name like Marcel sounds kind of French, right?
Kind of does.
Marcel Marceau.
Yeah, that's true.
He was French.
I know. I did know that. Marcel, we have another instructor named Marcel.
Maurer?
Yes. But he is German.
It's very confusing. He shouldn't do that. Irene Kamer had a wedding ceremony, but did not technically get married.
Right, because she was already married.
Right.
During the pandemic, she had planned to get married, like so many people did.
Yes.
And then that did not happen.
COVID.
Right.
I don't know if you heard about it. It was in all the papers, for those of you who still get the paper.
And so she had a friends and like a big ceremony.
The ceremony she did not get to have. She still got married, but she didn't get the big, all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. So this weekend she did. And at least some of the instructors from the London team were there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's nice when you're in Europe getting married, right? Because you know that they're not just marrying you for health insurance.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
You marry somebody during COVID in America, everybody's thinking,
don't know.
Everybody's thinking like, somebody needed health insurance. That's what I think.
Everybody did.
They just went ahead, got married even though nobody could go. Health insurance.
You think that was the only reason?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jess King was featured in Parents Magazine. Maybe. I don't know anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, like, it's all links to articles. So I'm like, well, it's on their website. Was it in the magazine?
Oh,
Does the magazine still exist? Should I be saying in or on?
No, that's fair.
I don't know anymore.
It was on parents.com.
Yeah.
It was an article that exists. She was featured.
Yes.
That's what you need to know.
Yeah, but I'm always wondering, like, is there still a magazine? And if so, did this make the cut to be actually printed on the paper?
I don't know. I was at the grocery store the other day waiting for my vaccines because I was at the part where they have the pharmacy.
Okay.
And I was standing there because they had triple booked my time slot to get my vaccines.
Sure.
And I looked over and I saw what is left of the magazine stand.
And there's like 6 of them.
Yeah. And they're on the bottom shelf of like a costume, like it had Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, it had a little row of magazines. And I was like,
it's like Cosmo People time done.
I was like, that's all we got left?
Yeah.
Wow. Sad times. But anyway, Jess King, this article is about the fact that she has 2 kids under 2
Okay.
at home.
Call those Irish twins.
Yeah. Well, and her situation was very specific and
for sure.
But yeah. And so talking about how parenting is hard and we love her for her honesty is what it says.
Okay.
So awesome.
So Susie Chan was featured in UK's Women Fitness magazine. And I can say N because she didn't share a link. She's like flexing. She's like, here's an actual physical magazine and I'm in it.
I think it's really cool that she's in a physical magazine.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, there's not that many left.
I miss magazines. Also, I would never read one now.
No, who has the time?
But
it's
I miss
all on
one.
your phone.
Right.
I do too, though. I do. I miss it. I used to get magazines when we first got together.
Yeah.
And then they just started piling up. I
Yeah,
never
they
read
did.
them.
Yeah.
So we had to stop that.
I love the super, like when you'd go to like the bookstore with just the giant magazine rack and all the just like crazy super niche magazines where you're just like, how is that a thing?
Crocheting for knitters only.
Right.
It's, like really specific.
Lighthouses. It's a magazine that's just pictures of lighthouses. And I'm like, hey kids, this is what screensavers used to be.
It's true.
Like, I was just like, how was this ever a thing? But it was.
It was. Well, congrats to Susie. That's awesome.
Peloton artist collaborations.
The latest artist series features Selena, not Samuela.
Correct.
Just Selena.
Yes.
We need to clarify.
And, we did talk about this a while back because Peloton
popped up on the schedule.
Yeah, it popped up on the schedule, but it popped up on a weird time. Like it popped up on a Sunday.
Okay.
And so that was great. But also, I think that just to set everyone's expectations, I think going forward, there's only going to be one artist series a month. And the reason I say that is just today. In fact, we just posted it while I'm sitting here because we have the best team on the planet.
Yes.
They just announced today that they were going to have October spots for the artist series of the month coming up. And it's going to be booking this Thursday.
Okay.
So I say all that to say that, yes, we already talked about that Selena was going to be there. We now know the classes. There's a whole list of them. And that's what this conversation is about. But also, I think just to set expectations, once a month going forward. That seems to be the new trend.
That feels like a better speed.
It does. It was getting a little out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, also, they were like running out of artists. They were burning through them so fast that you're just like, pretty soon it's going to be like.
It lost the specialness, too.
Yeah. They're going to be like having like, this week, it's going to be Rudy Valley and Bing Crosby.
Yeah. But I also think it's another cost savings thing. I'm not exactly sure how it saves them money, but I suspect that it does somehow. And I just find that interesting as well. But for Selena specifically, there's going to be a yoga flow, a core strength, yoga conditioning, a ride with Jess King, a run with Robin, a row with Ash, and a ride with Camila. And by the way,
yes,
we will talk about on our bonus. I'm not going to get into it here.
Okay.
But people got lots to say about who got what class.
Okay.
And we will get into that on our bonus.
Can't wait to hear the dirt. Mm-hmm. So we talked last week about Keith Urban popping up in class, doing a little mini concert.
Yeah.
And we have some behind the scenes footage if you are so inclined.
Yeah. Hannah posted a great post just about the whole day. And she had images from in the studio where she was, but she also had some in the production studio where they have all the different monitors up and you can see all the angles.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. And I absolutely loved it. I love that stuff. I geek out over seeing that.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to see. And they have you can see the screens that are live at home because those are lit up in green, and those that are in red are not, there's a bunch that aren't lit up at all. So I guess maybe they have two different ones going at the same time, like two different angles.
Oh,
I'm not
gotcha.
sure. But it's just neat to see how they put it all together.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're enjoying All for One, there is a special AFO Spotify playlist out there waiting for you.
Yeah. And I should probably save this for the top 5, but I'm just going to say that Hannah Frankson's Black Eyed Peas run
Okay.
was so fun.
Did you have a feeling?
I did have a great feeling. I saved it. I had stacked several of them. Mm-hmm. And so it was the last one. It was my easy 6 miles this week.
Okay.
And it was at the very end. And I was just in the middle of the 2000s back partying. That was right in the middle of my divorce, so I had a lot of nights out.
Lots of L'Chaim's.
And I was just like so there. It was so fun. I was like, this is great.
Now I know why you've been calling me the wrong name all week.
Liar.
And coming up after this, we're going to give you some ideas on what to do with your pieces of equipment. We'll give you the TCO top 5 and talk about some other content you might want to check out.
New content.
Okay, you got all this fancy Peloton stuff and you don't know what to do with it. That's what the TCO top 5's for.
Very good. You got one I like.
We're going to point you in the right direction with recommendations. We've crowdsourced recommendations so you can maximize your enjoyment and efficiency.
Okay.
So here's your first one. These are not in order. Please, no betting. The first one is your favorite walk-run class.
Okay. So this was taught by Jocelyn Thompson Rule during All for One.
Okay.
It was a 30-minute Nelly Furtado walk plus run. And Anne Marie Morris suggested this class. She said it was impeccable. She was in studio for it. The energy was off the charts, and Jocelyn made it accessible and fun for all levels, whether you're an experienced runner or hopping on the tread to run for the very first time.
Number 2 is your favorite core class.
It was a 5-minute core taught by Maddie Magiacomo. And you would think 5 minutes.
I was thinking that. I was like, 5 minutes?
I know. Well, Laura Corcoran nominated this class, and she said she's still laughing at herself because this class was simultaneously so hard and so simple.
Was it just like one 5-minute crunch?
She said it was it was all burners. So the entire routine was laying on your back. So there's a lot that, like, if you keep doing the same thing for like a minute straight, you're gonna feel it.
That's true. Number 3, your favorite ride.
So many people recommended this class. The Keith Urban ride with Hannah Corbin, 20 minutes long, only 20 minutes. I guess they couldn't afford Keith to stay that long.
He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy. And he stayed after to do pictures. Don't forget that.
That was probably another 40 minutes.
Yeah. And this class was, of course, taught on 9/26/24. You know what? It says 20 minutes there. It says 30 minutes there. So I'm going to assume the picture is correct. But anyway, Susie Liu, Mary Kay Burdick, Deborah Anzelon, Susan Dunton Burton, Kara Corcoran, Tiffany Cortez. I added a whole nother syllable to her name. Sherry Rosenberg. All of them love this ride. They all recommended it. And they said it was amazing. Like, everyone had all good things to say. This has been the best class of the year. People are talking about it everywhere. It had so much enjoyment, just fun, and everybody loved it. And everybody's been asking Peloton to do more. So my guess is we will see more.
Okay, this is why you're only getting one artist series a month.
That's right.
That stuff ain't cheap.
It's true.
Number 4, your favorite strength class.
Okay, so Andy Spear taught this class, 60-minute total strength from September 1st. Lindsay Kelly loves all things Andy Spear. We know this.
Okay.
But this class was one of her favorites. She said, Andy actually had me dancing with legs that were hardly working after a deadlift sequence. So we say when a body part gives out on you, you know you've done enough strength for the day.
Okay.
No comment, Tom.
Challenge accepted. Number 5, you're unstackable.
Okay, so this was a strength class, 20 minutes with Tunde arms and shoulders. Now, I've taken Tunde classes before that were 10 minutes and I felt like never ended.
Right.
So 20 minutes on arms and shoulder, holy cow. This was also part of All for One. This was at Black Eyed Peas. And Laura Corcoran said it was arms and light weights on steroid. She said this 20-minute class really does have moves reminiscent of arms and lightweight class, but you don't even think about it because you're using heavier weights. So, and how do you not have fun with Black Eyed Peas?
And now we will take a look at this week at Peloton. We have, first up, Max Out Your Row with Alex K.
Yes. Okay, so these are really quick hits. They're 20-minute row classes, and they are available on demand, so you can fit them into your schedule anywhere, and it's all about maxing out your row. That's just what it's there for.
Okay. Find spiritual uplift with Chelsea's Gospel Flow.
That's right. She is going to have a monthly Gospel Flow, 45-minute Gospel Flow.
I don't know that I'd use monthly and flow in the same class description, but go on.
Well, it's going to happen on the first Sunday of every month.
That's good to be consistent.
Yes. And you can catch the first one on Sunday, October 6th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
You can rock out with Bradley Rose's metal ride. You know it's metal because we capitalized the word metal.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that, but we did.
Metal.
Metal! I forgot a finger. Whoops. I was like, metal.
No, that's hang loose, dude.
I know. That's why I said I forgot a
metal.
finger.
Guys, come the rock horns.
Okay, so it's a 20-minute class. It's going to be an intense cycle session, and it's happening on October 4th at 1 p.m. Eastern or 6 British time. So I will be very interesting to see if he is going to do some headbanging. Very curious.
Okay.
And also, are they trying to make him another metal artist person?
They need somebody to handle the metal.
Well, I mean, Charlotte has been doing just fine with
Yeah.
that. But they may have felt like they needed to have another person to add on. I don't know.
Maybe he's going to do British metal. He'll Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, Saxon, stuff like that.
Those are all British?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also celebrate German Unity Day with a strength workout.
Yeah. So there's actually going to be a workout from Asal, Cliff, Eric, and Mila. And they are all going to have different classes that day on October 3rd. And those classes start on at 8 a.m. I think, yeah. Oh, there's going to be a move as one strength class. Sorry. So it has everybody there.
Ah.
It's one
like
class. They will all be there.
Like what All for One used to be.
Yes. Yes. And they did have some Move as One classes earlier this year. And I think we talked about those. But this will be a Move as One for German Unity Day. That's cool.
Peloton is debuting its first ever Jewish New Year ride.
Yes, it was today, and Robin did the class.
Okay.
And it was, I mean, I have heard nothing but amazing things. People said that it was like pure joy on the bike. They had a great time, and people were so happy to see it. Obviously, it has not been the easiest year for anybody who is Jewish.
Right.
And there were a lot of people that just felt really, really happy that they were included and recognized by Peloton.
Well, that is awesome.
Yes.
Peloton has also introduced drone-only scenic classes.
It's interesting you just call it drone only.
That's what was in the notes.
Well, that was part of what was in the notes. So they are narrated by the instructors. But if you'll remember, the instructors used to go on site.
They used to get free trips.
Well, they don't anymore.
No.
So now what happens is a person goes, maybe a couple.
It's like
small
Peloton's
team.
version of Aerial America.
Yeah. And it's still like showing the drone footage as like guiding you through it, like as if you are first person.
Right.
You know, and you're still going to feel as if you're in the class.
Right.
But now instead of watching an instructor do it with you,
right,
you're going to hear an instructor talk about it. And immediately people had a lot to say about it. Some people thought, well, that's great. It's another cost-cutting measure for sure.
I have no doubt.
I do not have a doubt either. But some people were like, well, this is great because I don't like the way that the camera pans around whenever the instructors are out there. So maybe I won't get dizzy when I'm on the tread anymore. So that was one positive. Other people said, well, but whenever I see somebody like, Mariana doing a Puerto Rico class, she grew up there. I don't know if she grew up in the place that she did the class,
right,
but she's been there for sure. And she talked about places that she could remember.
Right.
And she's
got like ties to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus you're having this conversation about a place. People are concerned that maybe these instructors aren't going to have a personal tie to the place.
Right.
And then it's going to lose some of that.
Now it's just drone footage of Maui while Matt Wilpers reads the Wikipedia entry for Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, some people are worried that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that is what it will be. Also, I thought it was interesting that there are several of these classes already on the tread because all of the stuff that they did for New York is like that. There's not the Pro Shot one. The Pro Shot one is not under guided because it's a time. But there are like 30-minute ones that are considered guided, and they are all narrated. But over on the bike, there's only two. There's a new one from Matt Wilpers, and there's a new one from Brad Bradley Rose doing Utah, and then there's one from Sam doing the Himalayas. And people really enjoyed and had a very positive reaction to the Himalaya one because he's talking about his time as a Buddhist monk.
Right.
Well, people are curious how Brad is going to handle it because has he been there? Like, it's a question.
Right.
We don't know what that's going to be like. I have heard something about cowboys in the mix.
Okay.
So I don't know. I haven't taken the class yet.
Well, maybe the fact that they're cheaper, though, will also, they're going to be easier to produce because not only do they have the cost of sitting the instructor, but they had the cost of sitting an entire film crew, right?
Yes.
Or at least hiring a local one. That's probably what they actually did. But still, that's
not cheap.
Flying a drone's a lot cheaper. So maybe you'll get more of them if you're a scenic class fan.
Well, and people also wondered if you got to see more, would you get to see a wider variety? Maybe you'll get to see places you wouldn't have gotten to see otherwise.
Right.
So we can hope for that as well. Maybe we'll get something from St. Louis other than that janky bridge.
Weird bridge. Yeah. Murder bridge.
Yeah.
This is the part where they threw off 2 bodies. We also have more classes added for Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah, keep checking because they have been adding stuff every week. They have been dropping new classes. So there's a new one that got added on the 23rd. Robin Arzon, Toto Ritmo. I said that wrong. Camila has a Musica Alternativa run on 9/24. And Dennis Morton has a 30-minute Fiesta Latina yoga flow on 10/5. And again, just want to put out there, Rad Lopez has the brand new split strength program in Spanish. That's the first one.
Lane Break won a Unity Award.
Yeah. Well, wait, I thought it was nominated. I didn't think.
Oh, I thought it won.
Oh, it did win.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to just go look and read the thing because I don't trust you.
Nor should you.
It says nominated.
Lane Break was nominated for a Unity Award. There, I fixed it.
Thank you.
I don't know what a Unity Award is. I read it, I read their website. I spent so much time on their website trying to figure out what the hell a Unity Award was. And they're like, it's awards given to people in the Unity community.
Okay, well,
I think they just like to rhyme.
The Unity Awards are presented annually by Unity Technologies to celebrate creators who are using the Unity platform to produce groundbreaking work across industries from gaming to architecture and beyond. So if you had read the article...
Well, the article didn't exist when I was originally putting this together.
Excuses.
So, but what is Unity Technology?
That is a platform that produces... I don't know.
So we still don't know.
No, it's a platform where they're able to do things like lane breaks. So they're able to make all this stuff. Its categories have mobile games, best XR experience, best indie game. So I think we can safely say that it includes games.
Okay.
All right. It gamifies stuff.
All cleared up.
Yeah.
Okay.
In case you missed it.
We have a new apparel drop.
We do. It was all about fall colors, but it also was about layering. There was a lot of new drops that had things like vest, and it was reversible. So it would be smooth on the outside, but then on the inside, it was the fuzzy stuff.
Okay.
And then you could wear it either way. They also had a bunch of really nice new running shirts that just came out. They're long sleeves.
Oh, because it's going to get chilly out there.
It is going to get chilly, but also new colors for fall, which I love.
Peloton birthdays.
So we got 2 birthdays this week. Technically 1, but I missed one last week because it fell on the Thursday and it snuck by me. So on October 3rd, Nico Serrani. Mm-hmm. And then on October 10th, Kira Michelle.
Happy birthday to Nico and Kira.
Happy birthday. And coming up after this, we have our interview with Keisha, so stick around.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Kisha Susaye. Hey, Keisha, how's it going?
Hello, it's going pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. We're very excited to have you here today. I'm really curious to hear how Peloton originally made it into your life and when in your timeline did this occur?
So it was December 20th, 2022. I know the date. because it was close to Christmas and the doorbell rang and it was a Peloton delivery, which I did not order. Yeah, right. It was a surprise Christmas present from my husband because I was thinking about getting it. It was during COVID and I'd gone to the mall and I've tried the bike and, they did a lot of ads on TV back then because that's when it kind of took off. And I was like, I want to, but I'm going to wait till after Christmas because it's expensive. And then, we have 2 kids, their birthdays are in January. So I kept procrastinating and he just bought it for me.
So you had voiced interest in it.
And voiced interest, but I was a bit skeptical.
Sure, I get that. But it wasn't a situation where your husband was like, surprise, here's some fitness
No, you
equipment.
need to work out. No.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
No.
Yeah. That is.
He knows better than that.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say your ex-husband, so
That's true.
No,
I
exactly.
assumed. Yeah. But you never know.
Okay, so you were skeptical. So
Yeah.
why were you such a non-believer? What made it? Now, you told me in your email that you thought Peloton was quote unquote over the top.
Marketing. Yes, it was over the top. It was all marketing because the ads were great. Like I'm a music lover and they were pushing ads constantly on TV. I'm in Toronto, so we'd get the ads all the time. And the music got me and I'm just like, I don't believe that people actually use this all the time. I'm like, the ads are great because seeing the ads made me want to do it. But I've been an investor in many gyms where I paid my membership and I never went. So
Sure.
I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to invest in a Peloton because I just don't think I would use it. And then a couple friends, we'd see people that we knew who got them and they're like, no, it's great. It's amazing. So then that kind of like, well, if they're writing it and they're saying it's good, maybe I'll like it because I wasn't really I worked from home. I wasn't getting out of the house. So I just needed something to get me moving. And that's why I would go to the mall and like sit on it and, try it out and
Pet it.
yeah.
I promise I'll take care of it if you let me bring it home. So
Pretty much.
So was there a moment in time? Was there like a definitive moment where you're like, oh, I like this? Or was it just over time you came to realize?
It was over time.
Yeah.
So the first day it came, I tried it and, I logged in and I did like a beginner class. And truthfully, what kept me going back on it was because I didn't buy it for myself. Someone else bought it for me as a gift. And I did not want my husband to feel like, oh my God, he wasted his money and I didn't like the present. So truthfully, I think if I had bought it for myself, I probably wouldn't have, because they say it takes 21 days to make a habit.
Yeah.
And I think if I bought it for myself, I would have gone on it sometimes, not as much, but because he bought it for me, I think the only day off I took was Christmas Day. And then I started that day. I didn't ride Christmas Day. And after that, I was just going on it every day. And then I started to see the difference in my output. So that was a motivating factor because I'm like, okay, I'm always competing with myself. And I'd see people getting shout outs for all these rides. I'm like, how did you do 1,000 rides? I'm like, I'm on like ride 5 and I can't even imagine me getting to 100, but I just kept going. And then of course it hurt my butt, but
that first week
was,
is,
the first week was tough. It was tough. And I'm like, should I get biking shorts? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to stick it out because I'm not going to invest any more money into this apparatus that I may end up just using as a coat hanger. But I stuck to it because somebody bought it for me and I didn't want him to feel like, what a waste of money.
that is so fascinating because I could see that going the other way. Like somebody bought it for you. Therefore it's like this, you have no financial tie to it. It wasn't your decision. It was his decision,
Honey, honey. She's Canadian.
Right.
They're nice.
She's nice.
It's Canada nice. She's just like, I can't do that to him. I guess I'll work out. Yeah. So maybe 5 days before your birthday, like the bike short delivery guy will show up.
Maybe the rowing guy will show up.
Got your eye on that rower, do ya?
I do.
So if he listens.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Hint, hint.
Yes.
When did you find yourself like excited to get on? Was it when you saw the output going up, or was it like all of a sudden you were like looking forward to a class? Or
it was when I started to feel the difference like physically, like I wasn't out of breath and I wasn't struggling. Like I could feel the improvement. The more I stayed consistent, I was seeing the results with my fitness. So that was what kept me motivating, because a lot of the times, like when I would go work out and stuff, when I used to invest in the gym and I'd go, you know, and maybe because I wasn't doing it consistently, but because the bike was here in my home and I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a real try. And I started to see the results, like started to feel the results. That's what made me excited.
No, that makes total sense, because I hate working out but yeah, like you reach a point where you start to see and feel the results, and then you're like Scrooge McDuck, only with fitness. You're like, I don't want to lose what I got.
That's exactly right.
I refer to it with my family and friends. I'm like, yeah, I joined a cult. Yes. Like it's a fitness cult. And, you know, and then I started to post about it. And then the Peloton community online was so amazing. Like they were so encouraging, and people from all over were, you know, commenting and saying congratulations. And that helped to motivate me as well. And then I started posting, and then it was encouraging, you know, friends of mine who had the bike and may have not been using it to start workout again, because, you know, we follow each other on our Apple Watches and they get a notification. And sometimes they'll text me, they're like, can you sit down? Because they're getting Keisha did a workout. Keisha did a workout. So it was like motivating people who I know, and then also getting the motivation from the Peloton community online.
Oh, that's funny.
So is there a specific area of the community that you're more invested in than others? Like the people have, you know, congregate around different instructors, or
sometimes it's on Facebook, sometimes it's on Instagram,
sometimes it's Peloton Mom. Yeah.
I mean, I have my favorite instructors. Like I have two. It's hard for me to pick. But like Emma, and I didn't even realize that I was drawn to Emma. And when I look back, because I did like a Facebook, you know, you get your iPhone memories. And the first time I rode, my husband took a picture or a video, and it was Emma. And then that year, when it gives you your year in review, most of my time was spent with Emma. And it didn't even click that that was the person I did my first ride with. So I was just drawn to her. She was just so calm, and, you know, she's just easy to, when you're riding with her, you feel like you're riding with like a girlfriend and you're just having a nice chat.
Yeah.
But then Anna is half, her dad's Jamaican and I'm Jamaican. So she's like, I feel like if we knew each other, we'd be best friends. And like, she'd be somebody I'd party with, because she'll just talk. She's hilarious. Like I get her personality, her sense of humor. So I would say, if I'm going to say I'm like a member of the push crew, that would be probably my main crew on Peloton.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I love me some Anna.
Okay. Now I also want to ask about this, because you also mentioned when we were going back and forth before the interview that you said that Peloton changed how you have a perspective about celebrating your own success. And I'm kind of reading between the lines that had to do with people telling you congratulations, but I'm curious. Yeah. So that made you able to be like, hey, congrats to me. Is
yes.
Cool. Yeah. That's really cool.
I'm not very good at like, you know, patting myself on the back. And I think a lot of women are like that.
Yeah.
We tend to downplay our successes. We tend to not say, oh my God, look at all the things I accomplished. Because I don't know, for me, I'm like, well, am I not supposed to do that? I mean, I'm a career woman. I have 2 kids that are very active. I have a husband. And sometimes I don't even know how I accomplish all the things I accomplish in a day. And also find the time to work out. So when people compliment me, I'll be like, well, it's kind of what I'm supposed to do, not realizing, no, I'm actually kicking ass. And then going online, and when I post that, you know, I did 50 rides and people are like, way to go. And when I hit 100, like that was I got so much interaction and so much love. So every time I'm like, you know what, anytime I do something good, I hit a milestone, I'm going to post about it, because there are going to be people congratulating me. And then I started to congratulate myself. So that's awesome. I read somewhere where it's just like, you know, the universe will stop giving you things to celebrate if you don't celebrate. So I started celebrating.
I've never heard that, but I like that saying. That saying. That makes a lot of sense.
You could use it.
I could. Maybe I should like get a tattoo that says that or something. Like, I have to look at it all the time.
That's like crazy.
I'll lose the sticky note. I'm just saying. So do you take any other classes besides bike classes on the platform, or are you bike only?
No, I do it all. I do the strength classes. I do yoga. I'm not a big yoga person. I never was, but I did hit the yoga milestone. So I think I'm over 100 now in 2 years.
Nice.
I do a lot of strength classes. I do the meditation. I love a bar class because I love to dance. So I'll do cardio. So I do it all. The only thing I've used the app when I go, like in the summertime, I try to get outside. So I'll use the walking. I've used it on the treadmill because I have a non-Peloton tread, but I'm not a big treadmill person. And I would love to try the rowing machine. I think I would enjoy that, but we'll see. My birthday. Well, my Christmas will come before my next birthday. So.
Okay. All right.
So, what is it about the rower that draws your eye?
I think it's just working maybe different muscle groups, getting my arms and legs involved. I have done the classes where it's like biking and your arms. But I think it's more so just getting like a full body workout with the rower.
You definitely do.
That's what's, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I know.
And I will have to take
because
your
I
word
think
for it.
I could add more weights. I mean, the weight classes are good, but I probably, if I want to then take my fitness to an even another level, like increasing my strength training, because most of the strength training I do now are like the lightweight stuff.
Yeah.
I know Robin's always encouraging, pick up more weights, pick up heavier weights. But
facts.
I do it sometimes, but yeah. But
facts.
I stick to the light stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What stops you, do you think, from picking up the heavier weights?
Well, I do have like a universal gym in my basement, and this is going to sound so silly, but I'm not a basement person. It's an unfinished basement. So the Peloton's upstairs in our spare bedroom. So I think, it's literally down a few flight of steps, but
it's not an attractive space.
I was going to say, is it a cozy space? Because
no, it's
okay.
cold.
Yeah, she said unfinished.
Oh yeah,
so,
I didn't hear
It's unfinished. It's bright but we don't need the space, so we never finished it. So it's not like inviting.
Right.
No, I
for me
totally
to
get
go
that.
down. Yeah.
Maybe you should get some like big decals and put them on the wall, like motivating, like badass decals that are,
Maybe
to make it more inviting.
Yeah.
Maybe this Christmas you get a finished basement. And then next Christmas you get a rower.
And I get the rower.
Because that rower's long. Like
It is.
I don't know that I don't know what your bedroom looks like, obviously.
I probably
but,
would have
but
to put it in the basement.
Yeah, I don't think it would fit there. So you said
Yeah.
upstairs. In my head, I heard bedroom. But
no, it is upstairs, and it's in our guest room. So
okay. But
nobody's in there.
Well, maybe you could
It
sneak
might.
a rower in there.
There are people that put both, but a lot of times they'll have I've seen all three in a bedroom, but I don't know what their layout is. I've never been like, now tell me the measurements of that room. So it's hard to say. I know.
Send me the blueprints of your home.
Let me lay this out.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people, like what they'll do is they'll take that rower and they'll put it up when they're doing like floor work. Like they'll prop it all the way up against the wall.
That's true. But then you got to have high ceilings.
You definitely have to have a high ceiling, which not everybody does in the basement. So, we're going to work through this for you. We're going to get there.
We're here to solve problems.
Yeah.
We'll brainstorm.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're like Chip and Joanna Gaines, but we're trying to squeeze in Peloton equipment.
Yes, that's us. Okay, so what is your leaderboard name and how'd you come up with it?
So my leaderboard name is not what I actually started with. And again, it goes back to not, having the confidence to initially celebrate myself. Initially, when I started, my leaderboard name was I'm Not an Athlete.
Aww.
Yeah. And then I had it for a long time. I only recently changed it when I hit 800 rides. And the first time I got a shout out, I think it was like ride 200 or 250. And Emma was like, not an athlete. I beg to differ.
It's funny. I was thinking I would think that I could see that getting shout outs just so they could tell you that it's not true.
They're like, you're wrong. You are an athlete. Yes.
And Logan said the same thing to me. He's like, well, the fact that you're here, be kind to yourself. And I went to the bike and I was like, oh, I think it's time for me to change it. And then I didn't, but I did in the early summer. And I got 2 shout outs in one day. First with my old name, because I hit a strength milestone and Jermaine was like, not an athlete, Mom, the fact that you're here, you know, you should be. And he gave me like a little speech, and I'm like, okay. You're right. So then I went and I changed
hang on. You might be the first person to ever roll your eyes at a shout out.
Yeah, so after I went on the bike and I changed it to, yes, I'm an athlete.
Oh, that's
and then
great.
I did my milestone ride, and Emma shouted me out.
Aw, that's lovely. Now, have you ever like talked to her online? Does she know that you are the same person that she was like telling you are an athlete?
Probably because I posted videos like where she shouted me out. So probably, but my screen name on like Insta is not the same as my name on the bike, but I think they've made the connection.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is. And so have you been to the showroom in New York?
No, not yet. I haven't been to New York since 2018. And I do have like a lot of Pelo friends, like Filthy NYC in
now who's giving shout outs?
Yeah.
Right? He's in New York. So he's like, every time he's like, whenever you're coming, you got to let me know. So I'll make sure I take a class. But it was so hard. It's so hard to get a spot. And the last time I tried was like a year ago, and I was planning on maybe going for like a weekend. And so I bought because you have to buy like tokens or something.
Yeah.
But I kept trying to the point they expired, and I never ended up going. And so I can't just, go to New York hoping to get a class.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
Yeah.
But I have a whole guide I can send you to get in.
Okay.
But like what it really boils down to is being okay with just like any class. That's honestly the best way to do it. Also, if you didn't get your money back for those classes, like you need to do a little chat with.
Yeah, I didn't even try to get my money back, but I'm pretty sure the token will expire.
They're so nice. So nice. They're so sweet.
Did you know that there are no women named Karen in Canada? Keisha's like, if only that were true.
She's like, that's okay. You Americans send plenty.
Yeah. That we do.
We do. We know we do.
That we do.
Oh, that's great though. But seriously, you should chat them up and see if, just ask real nice. Like, hey, these expired. I never got a chance to go because I couldn't get in a class. You'll be surprised. Very nicely worded email. What can happen. So,
I'll put on the Canadian charm.
Exactly. Throw an A and I'm sorry,
A sorry.
I'm sorry.
Offer him a Tim Hortons gift certificate.
Yeah, because the Tim Hortons they have in New York does not taste the same like
it does not.
Really?
Now, do you like Tim
gross.
Hortons?
It's disgusting in New York.
But do you like the ones in Canada?
I do.
Okay.
I do like it. I mean, I don't drink a lot of coffee.
I was like, that was a little suspicious of an I do. Sometimes we talk to Canadians who are like, I actually feel like I don't belong in Canada because I hate Tim Hortons. Every once in a while we get one of those. So I was just curious.
I do. So I love I love the ice cap.
Okay.
That's delicious. I love their bagels. Like for breakfast, they're just so good. But like, I'm not a big donut, sweet tooth type of person. But when if I do a road trip, the last time we did a road trip, actually driving back from New York with my family, it was late and there was a Tim Hortons open. And so we went and I bit into the donut and I'm like, what is this? It does not taste the same at all.
That's so funny. It's not even that far. Like,
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Because it's not made with love.
When you eat something, it's not made with the Canadian love.
Yeah.
That's right. When you eat something that's familiar, you're expecting it to taste a certain way.
Absolutely.
For sure.
It's a staple. Regardless whether I go to Tim Hortons in Toronto or in Vancouver, it's going to taste the same. So I was expecting that when I was in Buffalo, and it did not.
Yeah, I guess it's probably like if we went to a McDonald's in Australia.
Well, yeah.
It probably tastes, it's like all kangaroo meat.
Well, we went to we were in London this year, and we went to a Starbucks, and like they had no idea what I was trying to order. They were so confused.
Right.
And
Isn't that funny?
I know. I was like, okay, this it's a Starbucks. Like I'm in the right place, right? And they were nice about it. Like, and then with the accents between my Midwestern accent and their London accent, we could not understand each other. To this day, I have no idea what they gave us. My daughter drank it. That's all that matters. She was happy. I don't know what was in that coffee.
And it's in pounds too. So, and I already find Starbucks ridiculously expensive.
It is ridiculous.
In London.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, you just make
my
your peace
daughter
with,
likes Starbucks too.
Yeah, you just make your peace with like, I have no idea what we just paid for this.
Right. It's
like,
it's best not to even think about it. You know, you just whip out the Apple Pay.
Like
Does it taste good? All right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you have any advice for people just now entering the world of Peloton?
Yeah. Be patient with yourself. I have a friend who, like a soccer mom friend who just recently got a Peloton. And so I just kept encouraging her to be patient. I'm like, your bum's going to hurt. And my mom got one too after seeing me post and seeing the difference it made, like with me physically. So she ended up getting one and I just saying, Mom, it's going to hurt your butt. It's going to hurt your butt. So, but trust me, stick with it for like a couple weeks and you'll be fine. And she's fine now. And so when you're feeling like unmotivated, and I get those days too, where you're not motivated. For me, it's the music first. So I tend to go to the instructors that I know, no matter what, they're going to make me laugh. And they have such an amazing selection process with them picking their instructors. Like they have so much personality. And I think there's a personality for everyone on the bike. So my advice to like my friend who just got one is like, try all the instructors. She's from the West Indies. She's Canadian, but her background is from Trinidad and Tobago. So I sent her classes that were like carnival because I know she would like the music. Mm-hmm. So I say, look for the genre of music you like, and that will definitely encourage you to continue to work out, because if you're listening to music, it doesn't even feel like a workout. It's
so true. Yeah. And I love how certain instructors will tell stories and stuff that like, especially when I'm running, like Maddie Magiacomo is, so many of the running instructors do this, but Maddie will tell stories and I'll forget I'm running because it's like such a great story. I'm so involved in what they're saying, I forget. And I love that our instructors can do that. We're so lucky to have them.
I was talking to my mom last night, and she was telling me about, she did a 15-minute ride with Bradley Rose. Like, we're just randomly chit-chatting. And she was talking about how much she loves his classes and he's so funny. And she's telling me this story as if she had been out with a friend who told her a story.
And then he said,
and then Brad said,
that's exactly how, like, she was out with Bradley riding their bikes and he was telling her a story. And I thought it was just so funny.
It is.
That's awesome. Well, Keisha, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you in all the places, assuming you want to be found.
Yeah, I'm only really on Instagram, and it's at Lady with Morals. That's just what's my name from a long time ago, and I never changed it. So I'm on Instagram, and of course I'm on the bike. Yes, I'm an athlete.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
The Clip Out.
So I guess that brings this episode to a close. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can also find me on the socials and the Peloton leaderboard at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online at facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group. And of course, don't forget our Patreon, patreon.com/The Clip Out, where for $5 a month, you get all sorts of bonus content and ad-free episodes. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep pedaling
and running
and rowing.
Bye.